Alright, hey everybody, how's it going? Is this working? Hey, it's working again, let's go. Alright, sweet. Let me just quickly change this around. Sorry, 1 second chat, I apologize. I just gotta fix my mic real quick. Because my mic is being a little finicky today. Alright, you know what we'll have to do with that. Can you guys hear me okay? Hopefully everyone can hear me, everyone. Morning Lexra, how are you doing today? Morning Parbs, morning Anks, how are you doing today? YSL Cloud Access has been in stock and sale for a couple weeks. Can't find any reviews on it yet. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the review units. I was supposed to get. Okay, I don't know if I was supposed to, but figured I would have gotten a review unit for that mouse, considering I have a pretty good relationship with YSL, but I didn't get one yet. I know a couple people did receive some, but I know it's been pretty few and far in between, unfortunately, which is disappointing. Yeah, Chad, is the music too loud or is it all right? Let me know if the music is like kind of like too loud or something. I forgot, I gotta get like something to put here so it's not glaring back in the camera. 1 second, chat, I gotta find something. Let's throw this on here for a second. Sounds fine? Okay, sweet, that's awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll just use this for now, I guess. That'll probably be a little easier. I'm just gonna move my coffee over there. Not exactly the most aesthetic way of doing this, but it is what it is. Chat, rest in peace, by the way. My favorite pad, my Focus Ambition, has finally been killed by my cat because he decided to, like, scratch his nails on it. Oh my god, this thing is dirty. There's no way this thing's that dirty. Chat, this is your sign to clean your mouse pads. Now I can't use this now because I feel like it's weird. Now I feel like I'm weird because it's dirty. Okay, I'm gonna get something else. Music is very subtle. Think it's perfect. Okay, awesome. Alright, well, we'll just live with the glare on the table for today. We'll just deal with it. Let me just grab my scale. Okay, beautiful. Your voice is louder than the music? Okay, good, perfect. Alright, yeah, it's hard for me to tell sometimes because, like, YouTube kind of does a little bit of audio balancing on their side, so it's kind of hard to actually, like, tell if it's actually correct. But that's okay. How you doing, Mel? I'm doing all right. It's been a little bit of a chaotic couple weeks, to say the least. But you know what? It is what it is. we live and we learn and we continue on. But yeah. Okay, so today I'm probably not going to be streaming for too long today. Just a heads up, I'm sorry. I have a lot of stuff to do today, but I wanted to at least hop on and do like a quick stream. So we're going to be doing a quick unboxing and first impressions of the G-Wolves Hottie... What is this? The Hottie Ultra, or is it HTS? Yeah. This is the HTS Ultra, then this is the HTX Mini. I really hate the naming conventions. These are like really confusing sometimes. My cat loves lying on the mouse pad and he claws it a bit, unfortunately. Yeah, I've lost 2 pads to my cats doing that, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, chat, by the way, just so you guys know, you really stirred the pot? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, honestly, I didn't... Okay, I don't really want to speak about the TGX stuff just because I frankly just don't care. Like, to be abundantly clear, that review was not put out to start drama. Like, that was just, like, another review. I would have done that for any company. I just didn't expect the response to be like that. But it is what it is. That wasn't my intention to drama farm. That was not what I was trying to do, but it is what it is. People are going to take things the wrong way, so it is what it is. Anyways, by the way, sorry, on and off though, I also wanted to say, unfortunately, I do have some rather unfortunate news. We did have to put down both Merly and we had to put down Garbage and Saskia. Both of them got really sick and had some kind of like really crazy cat virus. The vets told us apparently it's like a super aggressive form of like cat COVID. And both of our cats had like basically like borderline organ failure within the span of a couple days, which was like really fucked. So it's like 2 weeks ago we had to put both of them down, unfortunately. So Garbage and Saskia are no more. Alphonse is still fine. He's doing okay. We actually think that he may have been the one who spread it to the other cats because when we got him, the vets who, like, the SPCA where we got him from, or like the Humane Society, didn't do all the testing on him they should have. So we think that maybe he had it and it's just been like a, what's the word I'm looking for? like a non-infect, like what's the word, chat, where you can carry something but then not actually have symptoms for it. So we think maybe he did it, but we have to get him a bunch of testing now to make sure he's okay, and this is a whole thing. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know about that. But yeah, it sucked, and then of course I had the whole thing happen last week as well, which was less than ideal, and I didn't want to make a post about it ever within that time frame just because it was going to seem weird. But it's okay, it is what it is. I mean, I know you guys love Garbage and Saskia, but like, both of them were rescues, and they both did have pre-existing health problems when we did get them, so we kind of took them knowing that if something was going to go wrong, asymptomatic, thank you, that's what it is. We kind of knew taking them that if something was going to go wrong with them, they were probably going to have to be put down just because they had such severe issues. Again, Garby was pretty young, but like Saskia was like 16 years old, so she had a long, good life, and again, they were both rescues, so they were happy and they had a good life, while they were around. But yeah, I want to let you guys know, unfortunately. I know you guys like seeing Garbage and Saskia on stream and stuff, so it's just going to be Alphonse going forward. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know and what's happening with that. Rest in paradise. That's pretty good. Actually, I like that. Yeah, no, chat, honestly, the past couple weeks have been a fucking blender. Like, we had like a week of dealing with health problems with the cats, and then we had to put them down, and then both me and my wife got super sick as well. You may still notice I'm still a little nasally, and then while we're sick, the whole thing happened with the last review. I'm just like, it's just been that's why I canceled the streams last week, because I was like, there's no way I'm streaming it like this. This is not happening. But yeah, I mean, shit happens. It is what it is. Such is life. But yeah, I want to let you guys know about all that. Sorry to kind of start this off on a bummer. I didn't mean to kind of start this off in like an L scav moment. Hold on, I gotta fix this camera while I'm at this, because this is a little off, isn't it? Let's try that. That should be a little better. Okay, perfect. That should be a little better. Anyways, okay, well, aside from life update and the cats, let's go ahead and get started into what we were actually supposed to do today instead of yapping, which is talking about these two mice. Chat, which one do you want to see me open first? I'll let you guys decide which one goes first here. We gotta wait for chat to catch up too. The Ultra? Okay, we'll do. All right. Ultra got the first tick, so we'll do the Ultra first. Okay, let me find somewhere to put this. How do you guess Ultra? Man, the Ultra's the popular choice today. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this part first. So this is the Ultra. And wait, hold on a second here. These boxes are always so hard to get out. They're always so difficult to open for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, that's better. Okay, so here's the box. Again, pretty straightforward. Again, I do like they list the specs on the side of them, which is nice to see. It's pretty handy. Again, I missed this when I talked about the Hottie the HTR, but like I will say I'm not a fan of the whole AI art. I do dislike this. I mean, this one's not that bad, but like I would like to see them just do like literal just standard packaging. I'm not too big of a fan of the AI stuff, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that today. Put this off to the side for now. So first off, we have a set of grip tape, but this one's a little different than the one we saw for the previous the HTR's grips. It's a little wider. Actually, let me see if I have the HTR grips to compare it to. Yeah, so here are the HTR grips, and then here are the HTS Ultra grips. Again, there is a pretty significant difference between the two, because obviously it's a different shell. But one thing I noticed right away that I really like is that commonly when brands make these kind of little pieces here, they often... Oh, here, let me move my mic over so it doesn't sound like I'm talking into the void. One thing I really like is that whenever brands put these kinds of pieces in here, a lot of the time... Is it bad that considering getting into the ULX? Yes, it is bad. You shouldn't. Don't buy Final Mouse. So what happens is a lot of the time when brands put these kinds of rear grip stickers inside a mouse, they make them too big and they warp on the corners. But G-Wolves actually put little slits in them so they're not going to warp. And this is actually the first time I've seen a brand do this. And this is a really nice attention to detail. Again, G-Wolves always has like really good attention to detail with like their engineering and their accessories. So I kind of expected them to do this, but this is a very nice thing to see. I know it seems like such like a tiny thing no one would really care about, but it does actually make a difference, especially if you put this on the back of the mouse and you feel like kind of that wrinkle on your hand. It drives people nuts. So this is nice to see. We also have the accessory package here. I'm assuming this is going to be the usual stuff in here. Okay, so there is a lavender scent packet, very nice. We have, okay, so we have a full base dust sticker. And then we also have, so we have 2 full base dust stickers. We have, I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is it? Okay. We have this. I don't know what this was supposed to be for, but I guess that's in there as well. We have some skates. Let's see, crack these open. So we have a set of 30 dot skates. These look to be the standard ones that come with most of G-Wolf's mice, so this is kind of to be expected. Such lazy marketing using AI. Yeah, I agree with you there. People just hate their customer service. Yeah, I've heard some things about their customer service as well, but I haven't really been able to get too much info on that. But yeah, I have heard some customer service gripes about their stuff. I feel like G-Wolf's is one of those companies where, like, they have incredible attention to detail, and their engineering is great, but then, like, their other aspects, like their art department and, like, some other things are probably a little lacking, but it is what it is. This small company makes sense, and marketing isn't there. Also, there really aren't any... Their mice aren't really made for normies. That is also very true. Their mice are not, like, general person mice. That is a very good point. Okay, sorry, back to it. So we have the dots, and we also have 2 sets of PTFE skates. I'm assuming these are the same 0.7 millimeter skates we saw with the HTR, so that's nice to see. What else we got in here? We got... Oh, we have more of these. Okay, so I'll talk about these in a minute. We have the same little info card again with the ambiguous monkey licking the mouse, which I still don't understand what that means, but you know, it is what it is. And don't choke yourself with the cable, pretty straightforward. And a quick breakdown of the mouse here and the buttons and that kind of stuff, which is nice to see. Oh, it does actually give you some specs on the here. So this is the... So it's using Wano blue shell pink dots again, as expected. This apparently does have a coating on it, so it registers this as a matte coating, and it says it's using a Pixar 3950, which is a nice thing to see. Hello, X-Ray Pad employee Melon. Hey, how's it going, Flex? Would still prefer them over Final meme though. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so actually this is something I wanted to know. This is actually the first mouse I think G-Wolves has made that is using the 3950, which is something I'm very happy to see. I'm tempted to click and buy a Cloud in the XS, but the lack of reviews is considering unavailable is concerning. Yeah, well, okay, hold on. So with Wise Owl mice, you have to remember, Wise Owl mice is like, Wise Owl mice aren't like, okay, so Wise Owl mouse is a fairly popular brand within like the high-end peripheral market, but like they're not like a normie brand, and like also their mice, okay, so I will say personally speaking, for what I've heard about the Cloud S, it's fantastic, but I haven't used it myself. But I will say, off of my personal experience with Wise Owl and having covered several of their mice, they are probably like the highest quality mice you can get out there, in all honesty. Like, they are very, very well built. I think there is still some design aspects to the Cloud XS that do need to be fixed. And again, the current Cloud X... Oh, actually, I remember why people aren't buying it. I remember. Yeah, Wise Owl was on their own bubble, which is 100% true. I know why people aren't buying it. The current batch of the Cloud XS is using Raisha opticals. People are waiting for the second batch, which is going to be using Omrons. That's what people are waiting for. Most likely. I mean, like, realistically speaking, the Raishas aren't even that bad, because I actually do quite like the Raishas. I like the Raisha implementation they've done on that one, but yeah. I want the black gold typo, waiting for that also on opticals. Yeah, wait for the next batch. I'm tempted, beside mouse teardowns, could you do disassembly videos with 3D printed mice mods? If I can get my hands on them, maybe. It just really depends. I don't really deal with 3D printed mice too much. I mean, if I get my hands on it and I cover it on the channel, I will. But it kind of depends on if I can even get my hands on them. Yeah, second batch should have Omrons. That was confirmed by Wise Owl a little while ago. But like, honestly, the Raisha, from like what I've heard, people said the Raisha implementation on the current batch is actually quite good. They're not as good as Omrons, obviously, but I heard they're pretty good. Again, I'm pretty sure it was confirmed by Wise Owl, but triple check that just before you before I say anything else. I'm pretty sure they confirmed that, but it should have a second batch. That's probably why people are moving a little slow on them, just because, like, people... The thing is that Raisha switches, like, don't get me wrong, they are a little on the heavier side, but people have a really bad taste of Raishas from the Pulsar X2 series, because those ones were, like, really poorly implemented. The ones in the new batch are much lighter, but again, they're not Omron, so if people really want that Omron feeling... They're probably waiting for the second batch. I'm gonna try and get my hands on a Cloud XS like soon. I just trying to find where I can get one from. Like I reached out to Wise Owl, I was like, hey, am I on the reviewers list? And they just haven't even read my DM yet. So I don't really have a good way of contacting them, unfortunately. Which is annoying, but it is what it is. Shit happens. What can you do? Anyway, sorry. Cloud XS aside, there is one very, very unique thing I wanted to talk about here included with this mouse. And that is these here. Now, these may kind of seem a little confusing on the... Now, at the surface, these may seem kind of confusing. Can anyone guess in chat what these are? And it comes with 2 sheets of them. Anyone have any guesses? I'm actually genuinely curious to see if anyone's actually going to get this. Because this is a very obscure thing that I haven't seen used before. I'm gonna put this stuff away while you guys are answering. Sorry, YouTube chat's like super delayed. I apologize. So it takes me like 30 seconds to catch up with chat. Dotski, hey, private jet, got it. Okay, well done. Spacer, yeah, okay, you guys, okay, maybe I'm just an idiot because I didn't know what these were. Yes, so these are, it's not SMPF foam. It's just like, it feels like just like a regular foam layer, but these are used as a spacer for the dot skates. Now there are 2 uses for these ones. Number 1, fill up the holes. That's actually not a bad, that's actually not a bad answer. Imagine they just imagine they sell a honeycomb mouse, you just gotta fill the holes manually with these. That'd be crazy. No, Private Jet got it right. So basically these are small little foam pads that you can put on the bottom of the mouse and install the dot skates on top of them to, number 1, act as sort of an SMPF foam layer to kind of reduce friction. It's not going to be as good as the one we see on like X-Ray pad or UWS skates, but it will do something. But also very uniquely, these are also spacers, so they make the skates taller. So G-Wolf skates are quite small, and sometimes they don't poke out from the bottom of the mouse enough, and you can't use them on soft pads because they're just too shallow and they'll bottom out. So you can use these spacers to make them taller, which is a really, really cool thing to see. I've heard some rumors about more brands implementing this because this is actually a very handy feature, and this is the first time I've actually seen it. So I'm very excited to see how these actually work, if they actually work, that is, of course, because again, the foam, we'll see how durable they are. I'll be honest with you, it feels more like cardboard than foam, but I mean, it is a cool little unique thing to see included. We'll have to see in reality how functional they are, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so that is that there, and let's go ahead to this next. Okay. Alright, so it comes in the same plastic carrying case we saw for the HTR and pretty much all of other G-Wolf's more recent mice. Inside here we have the same secondary cable we saw with the HTR. Will work for me. Yeah, I think they're designed to prevent digging in, but we'll see if it actually works. Anyway, so we have one charging cable here, and then we have a second one here with the dongle. Again, this is exactly the same as what we saw with the HTR and HTR Pro. The cables are interchangeable. Actually, G-Wolf's told me that apparently this cable actually has better shielding than the sticker cable, which I thought was kind of odd. This is more of like a traditional cable. This actually reminds me a lot of the Vaxi stock cables, like back in the day. But yeah, so there's that, and then we also have the thinner cable here, which is nice to see. You can kind of pick and choose whatever one you want to see. We do also have the standard G-Wolf's AK pulling dongle with the big silicone pad on the bottom that does anchor itself quite well to desks. It is a little light though. Oh. It is a little light though, so I mean, like, unless you're putting pressure on it, it will shift around a little bit, but it will anchor itself to your desk decently enough. Could also be nice if you always place your dots in the same spot. Yeah, it also could be good for that as well. I want to experiment with them and see how they work with other companies' dot skates as well. That'd be kind of fun to do. We have a strap and a carrying case for this baggie, and stuck up in the top here, I think this is the mouse. Come on, get out of here. Okay, it is stuck inside the packaging. Okay, there we go. That was really hard to get out for some reason. Alrighty, and inside this little baggie here, we have the mouse itself. Wow, this is actually pretty... Hold on, let me grab my HTR. I just want to see the differences. Ah, shit. Alright, so compared to the HTR, there is a pretty sizable difference here. As you can see, I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, I've always used like the HTR and like other tinier G-Wolves mice. I haven't actually used like one of their full-size mice yet, so this is a very big difference compared to what I've used before, which honestly I'm okay with. And I'm okay, like, honestly, like, look, chat, like, this isn't really exactly an ideal use case. This is much more reasonable. Oh, there's a fire truck going by my house. One second, chat, it's gonna be loud. Okay. Alright, fire truck is good. Uh, Dragging Rivals, I know it was a dogging on Rivals last brought up. I haven't ended up grinding away. I haven't touched it. I can't read. Wow, what's wrong with me? I know I was dogging Rivals last time we brought it up, but I ended up just grinding anyway. Haven't touched it for 10 days though. Yeah, I heard Rivals is in like an okay spot. Well, okay, it's in like a pretty bad spot with this new season with the thing apparently is like broken as fuck. But anyways, it is what it is. Anyways, okay, so back to the mouse itself. So this is a much different shape to what I'm used to seeing from G-Wolves, but I actually much prefer the larger shape again, as I mentioned. It is a primarily honeycomb shape, but one thing I actually really like and one thing I wanted them to change from the HTR Pro was I wanted them to add the texturing back on the main clicks because it was weird having them flat because the mice doesn't have a coating. Like, I know it says it has a matte coating on it, but it doesn't feel like it has anything on it. But they did fill the upper parts of the clicks here, so you can kind of, there is somewhere to anchor yourself. Again, with all G-Wolves mice, you're most likely going to need you're going to need the included grip tape because again, this, even though it says this has a matte coating on it, this is very slippery. It feels like the original, HTR in terms of feeling. It kind of has that like weird frosted texture on the front there. One other thing I'm not too big of a fan of is that the clicks at the top of the mouse do stick out quite a bit, so I do have some concerns about these getting stuck on things or breaking. I would like to see these rounded and maybe flattened down a little bit like we saw in the HTR Pro, but it is what it is. It does come pre-installed with dot skates here, so the 4 dot skates, but again, it comes with a bunch of other skates as well. Hey, what's up? What do you recommend for fingertipped 21x9? Ooh, Chad, what's a good fingertip mouse for that range? Yeah, I was gonna say, you could, because you're pretty close to my hands. You're kind of around my hand size region. You could like, honestly, like, Pulsar, it depends. If you want to go, like, do you want to go, like, a full-size mouse like this, or do you want to go for, like, a fingertip-optimized mouse? Because, like, if you want to go fingertip-optimized, HTR or HTR Pro is probably the way to go. If you want to go full-size, you can go HTS Ultra, you can go, like, honestly, anything from G-Wolves is going to be pretty good. If you want to go full-size, Pulsar X2 Crazy Light is also very good. What are some other good small mice that I've covered before? Yeah, Crazy Light is a very good option. It is definitely heavier than some of these, like, it's definitely going to be heavier than a G-Wolves mouse, but it's a very good mouse. Yeah, HSK, yeah, honestly, anything from G-Wolves, because they're all very fingertip optimized mouse. Zero. Oh yeah, the Zero Mouse too. Yeah, you could do Zero Mouse, but that requires modding and stuff. Yeah, like I could fingertip it. Like I have 1905 by 12.7 hands, and I could fingertip the CL without an issue. Actually, hold on, where's my CL? Sorry, Chad, my throat's a little messed up. Yeah, here's the CL for you. If you, like, again, it is a solid mouse. They could have done more weight optimizations to it, but it is still pretty light. Like, it is a very good fingertip mouse. I think one benefit to this, though, is that, like, G-Wolves mice, you always need to rely on grip tape for them. Like, no matter what version you buy, you will need to use grip tape. The Pulsar one does have a very good coating on it, but, again, it just depends on what kind of size you want to get. You fingertip a Viper V3 Pro. Good lord. Maybe HTS or HTX. Yeah, you could also do that too. I would look into G-Wolves options, see what you like there, and I would look into the what dots are on the Crazy Light? Oh, where are they? They're just Obsidian Air dots. Sorry, Obsidian Air Pro dots. Mrs. Mellon was using the mouse and she mains the Kazemi, so I put these on for her because she likes the more controlled skates. Actually, fun fact, Mrs. Mellon mains the old HDR. She loves it. It's like her favorite mouse. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so in terms of the mouse itself, the shape is a little more rounder than I expected, to be completely honest with you. I expected it to be a little flatter, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. Again, it's weird because like I'm not expecting G-Wheels to make like a very traditional shape, but like this is kind of odd to me because I'm going from the HTR Pro to this, but it's a pretty safe shape. Nothing really wrong with that, I guess. Central peak, like kind of like a central peaking hump, which is fine. Now the buttons is what I'm very interested in. So as I mentioned earlier, it is using... do fingertip mice from G-Wheels cause hand cramps? So there's not any particular brand that causes hand cramps. That's more of like a personal thing because it really depends on your grip style. Because if you're not accustomed to using some mice, you'll death grip the mouse, and that can cause problems. So like it's not like a specific mouse brand is going to cause your hands to cramp more than others. It's more of just your hands may cramp with some sizes you're not accustomed to. But like no mouse is going to cause your hands to cramp more than others per se. It's more of like a personal thing. What was I going to say here? Now the buttons, so as we saw, as the box said, it's using 1-0s for the main clicks, which is fine. Same click here implementation that we saw on the HT. I'll give you a quick little sound test. Same kind of thing there. Also, something I forgot to mention earlier, the sides of this mouse are actually solid as well, which I actually quite like. That's something I missed to mention earlier. The scroll wheel feels... What is this? This feels like a 7mm. Yeah, this is probably, I think this is a 7mm or a 10mm encoder, probably a TTC, and the scroll wheel click is definitely a pillar switch because it's pretty weak on the rebound, but that's fine. Now the side buttons is what I'm most interested in. Good lord, those are heavy. Okay, the side buttons are very heavy. I'll give you a sound test. Yeah, the side buttons are definitely a little heavy. I think these are got to be using the same Omron blues as the other mouse, because like my biggest gripe with G-Wolves mice to this point has been that the main clicks are pretty well implemented. I have no problems with the main clicks. The side buttons are way too heavy, and the same goes here for the Ultra here, unfortunately, which is disappointing to see. I would much rather see a lighter switch, but again, that's pretty common gripe. I do like the shaping of the buttons better. I do like the shaping of the buttons better though, which is nice. Oh my god, I can't talk. What's wrong with me today? I will say the shaping of the side buttons is better than the previous mice, and it is like slightly forward tilted. Again, it's a very like average feeling mouse in the hand. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, just a very ultralight take on one. Let's go weight next. So stock configuration with dot skates, this guy's weighing in at, so 30.7 grams. That's actually kind of crazy considering the Hottie R, the full-size one, weighs like around 30 grams. So like you have either the Hottie shape or a full-size mouse like this with around the 30-gram range, which is actually pretty damn impressive, not gonna lie. In terms of build quality and QC, the shell on the sides is actually surprisingly rigid. There's a little bit of creaking, just a tiny little bit, but nothing like significant. Top shell feels good. You can cause this back area to flex quite a bit if you press into it, but that is kind of to be expected. So I wouldn't put too much pressure in this region specifically, but like palm pressure should be fine. Yeah, everything else feels okay. It does feel rigid enough in the hands where I'm not like particularly concerned about it. Like again, the main area you're going to put pressure on is going to be the sides, and I don't think you're going to have any issues here. If you put pressure, like direct finger pressure on the top shell, you may have some issues in this area, like specifically right here, but this feels okay. I think this is more of the issue area. But regardless, this is fine in my opinion. Really no complaints in terms of build quality and QC. Yeah, it actually feels pretty good. Honestly, again, like I know it's weird because like I've only used G-Wolves like really fingertip optimized mice, so using a normal shape is very weird for me, but the mouse actually feels good, and I can actually like comfortably hold it because like all of G-Wolves' previous mice have just been way too small for my hands, so I'm happy to see a more normal shape. Again, it would be very fingertip optimized. And I think my biggest gripe about it right now is the side buttons are too heavy still, and you will absolutely need some kind of grip tape on here. Again, I would have liked to see the real coating on here, but it is what it is. I compared the shape of the ULX small and Elo shape. It's almost the same length, but the hump is way higher. Okay, that was going to say because it looked a little higher to me as well. That makes sense. Would low friction skates theoretically have a higher skill ceiling than controlled skates? Not necessarily. No, I would say no, because like a skill ceiling isn't really deter, like, because I feel like the mouse pad uses more, like, don't get me wrong, skates make a difference in how you're going to perform, but the mouse pad itself is a much more defining aspect. I would say like using a glass pad has a higher skill ceiling than like a fabric pad, but like I don't think skates are going to really make that much of a difference, like unless you're using glass skates, of course, but like those have a lot of downsides in many situations. I don't know, like I don't really think, I think pad and mouse are like the big things that actually make a difference in terms of like overall like skill ceiling, if that makes sense. But it also really depends on the game as well, because like a really controlled mouse pad and a low sensitivity are going to be great for Quake and Counter-Strike, but they're going to suck for games like Overwatch or more dynamic gaming games. So it also really depends on what games you're playing as well, because it's hard to define what skill ceiling it is. QC on the clicks, good? Yes, so it is using mono blue shell pink dots for the main switches. They feel good. Scroll wheel feels good too. My biggest gripe is the side buttons, because they do feel very heavy. I'm assuming they're using the same switches as the HTR, so they are a little heavier for my taste. I would have liked to see them lighter, to more akin to the actuation force of the main clicks, but they're fine, I guess. I was gonna say my expert fingertip. Yeah, oh no, Maya's a claw mouse from what I've heard. Maya's big time claw. That's a very bulky mouse, if I'm not mistaken. If I were to pick it, say faster skates, but pad is more important. Yeah, yeah, I would say like a pad is going to be like 20% of your gameplay. Like skates are like maybe 1 to 4%, if that. Like it really depends. But again, like skill ceiling is really hard to define. I play on 95 centimeter in Rivals. I'm a psycho. Well, I mean, if you're playing a tracking heavy character, that's fine. I mean, if you're playing like Punisher, like you're vibing. Like that's the thing. Like it's really hard to define skill ceiling, because like here's the thing, chat. Like realistically speaking, you can get to top 500 in any game by using just random stuff. Like you don't even have to use, like I could probably I'm not gonna lie, chat. Hold on. If I hated myself, I could hit top 500 in Overwatch with this thing, no problem. Like, would it be an enjoyable experience? Absolutely not. But I could if I really wanted to. And like, or like a great example is Marvel Rivals. No damage Rocket hits Celestial, and he doesn't do damage. He only heals. Like, that's the thing. Like, gear isn't really that big of a part when it comes to like being like gear has an aspect in hitting a skill ceiling, but it's more about game knowledge and map knowledge and utility knowledge and that kind of stuff. Like it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like the same thing, or theoretically 1 centimeter is the same. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it makes sense. Like theoretically speaking, 1 centimeter per 360 is the best sensitivity because it feels essentially weightless, but in reality it's like unusable because it's impossible to, like, okay, not unusable. I know a guy who plays at 6 cm per 360 and he fingertips the mouse and he's a fucking psycho, but like it's not a realistic thing. But yeah, one second. He's barely damaged Rocket now? No, really? Mad 60 cardboard box booga mouse. Yeah, literally, exactly. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I feel like a lot of people focus too much on gear when like in reality, once you find a mouse that's comfortable for your hand size, you realistically never need to look at anything else. That's pretty much it. But yeah, like, there's some theory behind that, but I mean, it is what it is. Okay, so anyway, so that is after our long elongated yap session. All right, let me put all this stuff away for this one first, and then we will focus on the next one, and then I have to talk accessories. Yeah, he did 26 damage trying to kill an Onk or something, and then he like did some other damage by accident to someone else from some other situation or something like that. Chat, no lie, if that happened to me, I would tweak. I would like actually hardcore tweak, no lie. I found my options were all types except for recurrent looking for fingertips. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, honestly, fingertips are like, fingertip mice are very hard because like you have to have such a different aim style. Like if you traditionally aim with your entire arm, or you do like a little bit of a hybrid aim, it's like, okay, like raw arm aim is very hard to do with fingertip grip because it's much easier to micro adjust with your finger, like this kind of thing. So like you have to learn how to do that, and there's a lot of other weird things with the grip too, because like on fingertip mice it's always kind of hard to hit side buttons, especially with smaller ones. Like there's a lot of nuance that goes into fingertip. Like I'll be honest with you, I suck with fingertip mice. Like I am horrible with fingertip mice because like my hands are just so big, and it's taken me probably like 6 months to get like somewhat decent with fingertip grip, and like I'm nowhere near like what my peak would be if I was using like a claw grip. So like fingertip mice, like it's not to say they're bad, you just have to be very, like if you use a fingertip mice, you literally just have to use the fingertip mouse. You can't really swap between other mice because it's not really that viable. Anyways, okay, next up we have the HTX Mini. Let's go ahead and start this one. Okay. Oh, we have the same. Oh, okay, I don't know what this is. I'm not sure what this is for, but it's here again. This has got to be like, oh, maybe it's like a sheet for like putting these back on or something if you have to take it off temporarily. I don't know what this is, but I'll try and figure out what this point of this is. Okay, so we have this again. We have 2 dust covers again for the bottom of the mouse as expected. We have another lavender packet. We have the little info guide here. This is using, so slightly smaller version, 5 buttons. It is using, Switch is a D2LS 21 20mm. What the hell are those, chat? Chat, is that a Kale skew? I think it's a Kale skew. Okay, I'll have to find out what those are when I do that later. But this one is using the 3395. It is not the 3950 like the Ultra was. We'll put that back there. Could have stopped at OP1. Yeah, honestly, OP1 is just like the end game for most people. It just works. Like that's just kind of, it's one of those mice that just works for everybody. Okay, so we only have 1 set of skates included. I wonder if the mouse comes with them pre-installed, but only 1 set of full-size skates here and the standard dot skate here. And there are no spacers with this mouse, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm assuming maybe that extra set that was within the Ultra is probably why I have that, but it is what it is. Yeah, honestly, like low-key chat, OP1AK would have been my endgame too, even though I don't really like symmetrical mice. That mouse just performs so damn well, but it's just too small for my hands. I can't use it. I've been trying to hunt down, I've been trying to hunt down an XM2 review unit for months, and I still can't get my hands on a single one. It's so tilting. Anyways, okay, so inside here we have... Okay, so again, we have the same 2 cables. The exact same type as ones we saw with the Ultra again, so you can kind of pick and choose what cable you like there. Same AK dongle with the same rubber base. We have the strap for the carrying case here. Oh, we do also have these. Okay, so there are more 1.5mm spacers in here. I'm going to put these in here. I don't know why they didn't include the spacers in this, because that would make a lot more sense, but at least it does come with spacers, which is nice to see, so we'll put that off to the side. And up on the top here, we have the mouse itself. Okay, so again, fabric baggy, and oh, interesting. Okay, so this is a bit of a different take. Okay, so kind of a similar shape to the Ultra, but a little more curved at the front of the base. It still has that semi-high rear hump, but this shape looks much more traditional, I guess you could say. Does come with 4 dot skates pre-installed here as expected. What else we got here? The entire shell is solid though, which is quite interesting. So it is a fully solid shell. Even like this one was like half solid, half open. This one is completely solid, which honestly I don't mind at all. That will make it a little more rigid, which is nice to see, but this area still is a little weak if you put pressure on it, so you could like push through it, but it is what it is. Also, interestingly enough, the main clicks have the same kind of weird curvature that the HTR main clicks have, which is very odd, where they have this kind of lip to them, but they have that very like deep groove in them as well, which is quite unique. What else is noteworthy here? The coating feels... It actually does feel a little different from the Ultra, but it's still very slippery, so again, you are going to need grip tape. Actually, were there grip tape included? Oh, there's no grip tape. Chat, there's no grip tape, was there? Hold on, maybe I put it in here. Oh. 1 second, chat. Sorry, there is grip tape. It was included. It was included in the other accessory package. So there is a set of grip tape here. Again, full size piece with the rear cover here and some dots. So there is grip tape for this mouse. My apologies. It just wasn't. I guess because it was so big, it didn't fit in the package. They just threw it in the accessory package. I'm used to finding the grip tape in with the mouse. Sorry, that's my bad. Okay, in terms of build quality, very rigid. There is a little bit of a flex here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. There is some flexing towards the back here, specifically on this corner. I wonder, did that happen here? No, it didn't flex on this mouse, but it definitely is flexing here. So there is a little bit of flexing in this area if you put a lot of pressure on it. But I mean, that is kind of to be expected for a mouse like this. Again, it is a very ultralight shell, but like you're not going to be putting direct pressure here, so it's not the biggest deal. But I'd be concerned about this, and this area. The sides of the mouse though feel very rigid, so no concerns there from what I can tell. The buttons all feel good too. So these are using a bit of a different switch. I just don't exactly know what they are because they're a bit of an odd coating. The pins look normal, so they must be like a Kale or something. Like here, I'll give you a sound test. They sound a little more clicky. So a little more clickier. Again, it does have the texturing on the top here, so that's okay. Scroll wheel feels good. Slightly... It feels like a slightly heavier encoder if I'm not mistaken. So this is probably, maybe this is like a 10. This is maybe this was like a 7. This is a 10, but feels fine. Texturing on it is good. I don't mind the texturing at all. Actually, I actually prefer this texturing. It's a little easier to grip than the kind of like dotted texturing we saw on the Ultra scroll wheel. Side buttons here. Give you a sound test. I think they're lighter. Okay, they are lighter. They do feel lighter. They feel slightly lighter than the side buttons on the Ultra. They are still heavier for sure, but they feel better in my opinion, so that's nice to see. But again, it is a much smaller shell. Like, it is a pretty, okay, not much smaller, but there is a pretty significant difference in terms of the shaping there. And then the edges of the clicks, okay, see, this is what I like to see. So see how the edges of the click here are like slightly cut? Like as I talked about earlier, I worry about these sharp edges, so I'm very glad to see they cut them on this side. That's actually very nice to see. And on also, oh, I didn't look at this. Okay, and both of these mice do have a lot of space for external grips, which is nice to see. Extra third-party skates, which is nice to see. Okay, let's do weight here. So stock configuration dot skates, the Mini is weighing in at 28.1 grams on the dot, which is pretty good, honestly. I'm sure they could probably make this like way lighter and use like a full honeycomb shell, kind of like what they did for here to make it even lighter. But honestly, this is pretty impressive. It's crazy, man. It kind of makes me think that the HTX wasn't really, the HTR wasn't really that weight optimized when I first got it, because that thing's around 30 grams, which is kind of crazy. But okay, so definitely, I think this is much more of a fingertip mouse for me. I much prefer the bigger, obviously I much prefer the bigger size. This is definitely gonna be more of a fingertip for me, for sure, but it feels good regardless though. The deep clicks is definitely a little unique, but that's okay. I don't really mind that per se. I think, again, the biggest gripes I have is just kind of the weakness on the back here, but aside from that, aside from that, they're pretty minimal issues in all honesty, so no real major complaints there. Okay, let me put this back. Give me a second, chat. Now, there is the accessory packages, but I only got one with these two mice, so we're only going to have one accessory package to go through, but it's going to apply for both mice, I guess. Okay, put you there. Let me just put this all in back, chat. You know what the problem is, chat, though? I have to go from using, like, with my current, like, review lineup, I have to go from using fingertip mice to a full size back to fingertip, and I'm not looking forward to that. Because fingertip always takes me a couple weeks to get accustomed to again, so I have to, like, restart the whole process. Why is this not going in? Okay, I'll have to do. Hey, what's up, Rolf? How you doing today, man? Hope all is well, hope all is well. Just doing some unboxings today. Checking out some new mice. Okay. That is that. Okay. Let's see the accessories package now. So just like we've seen with the previous G-Wolves mice, it's pretty much exactly the same as what we saw in the HTR. So it includes 2 of the G-Wolves arm sleeves, which for stock arm sleeves honestly aren't too bad, which is nice to see. It does include a crap ton of this. Oh my god. More of this lightweight foam than I'll ever need, I think. So that's nice to see there. Oh, there's even more of it, my bad. Oh, okay, so I guess they just doubled up the accessory pack. Okay, so there's more arm sleeves there. So each mouse comes with 2 arm sleeves and then 4 of these little the foam clay things. I have to make a video on how to use this properly because apparently there's like a whole process for using this, but I'll talk about that another time. I've been chilling. What about you? Not much. Just, you know, life goes on. It's had some shit happening lately, but, you know, it is what it is. We also have 2 of the protective bags. So these, because of the open shell designs, G-Wolves is recommending that you put the mouse inside these bags when they're not being used to prevent like dust buildup from debris from getting inside the mouse, which is a very important thing actually because the HTR in particular is like a dust magnet. So you can either put it back in this when you're not using it or put it back in the carrying case. Again, a bit of a unique kind of thing to see, but given their open designs, I understand why they're doing this. We also have the same postcard here. Again, it's AI art. Not happy to see this, but it is what it is. And lastly, we have another charm here. And we have another wolf charm here, just like the, I think, what mouse had this? The HTR had this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is molding clay. So I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this before. So basically, you can use this clay. And you basically use it on the side of the mouse, like you mold it and you shape it and you put it on the side of the mouse and then you cure it and then you like glue it to the mouse and it acts as like a shape alterer, so you can make like little grooves in the side of the mouse for your fingers or that kind of stuff. The execution of the clay isn't exactly the greatest in my opinion, but yeah. Having a Ziploc bag for a mouse is crazy work. Yeah, admittedly, it's a little bit of a interesting take on this, but I honestly, given the design of the mice, I understand why they're doing it. It's not like, okay, I should say, it's not like something you absolutely have to do. It's more of like a precautionary thing, but it's still something I would recommend doing just because their mice are very open. If it's a solid shell mouse, it doesn't matter as much, of course, but like big mice, it's a bit of an issue for sure. Okay, let me put all this stuff away here. So much stuff. That's one. I mean, look on the bright side at least. At least with the G-Wolves mice, you're getting a lot for your money, which is nice. I mean, like, there's no real gripes for that. You do get a lot with the mice. Is some of it as useful as it should be? Questionable, but I mean, it is what it is. Gotta go find this grip tape. I'll hide this grip tape somewhere else. Okay. Alright, and that's pretty much it. For ELO shapes, the HSK Pro V2 shape is a slight curve in the right wall as well. Ah, okay, that probably explains why. Having to do ceramic work after buying a mouse is crazy work. Well, it's not necessary. It's more of just like an accessory they include, which honestly I don't mind. It's kind of cool to include clay. I do like the concept of that, but it's a little difficult to use. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for today, in all honesty, chat. Sorry for this being a bit of a shorter stream. I have a lot of videos to work on, so I'm pretty backed up on stuff right now, so I can only stream for a little bit today. But I appreciate you hanging out and chilling for the quick little unboxing stream. I do appreciate it. I will try and do like an actual full stream, hopefully sometime next week. There may be a public playtest for a game I am very much looking forward to next weekend, so we may be frying next week. And, you know, going back to an age-old game that I grew up on. So, well, not grew up on, but going back to my roots, we should say. But I will, I won't say any more than that right now. But anyways, I appreciate you guys chilling and hanging out again. Sorry for the shorter stream today. My apologies. I will do, I'm going to try and do maybe a stream on Wednesday for doing some more unboxing stuff. I have a mystery package from Pulsar coming as well, so... Yeah, Woozy got it. Yeah, there may or may not be a pretty big Splitgate 2 playtest next weekend, so we gonna be grinding. But anyways, I'll try and catch you guys on Wednesday, and then I will definitely be streaming next weekend unless some other shit happens. But I will catch you guys then. But anyways, I appreciate y'all chilling and hanging out. Thank you very much, and I will catch y'all later. Peace.